Happy New Year! Hundreds of top Khazarian mobsters, including the Bush family, renditioned to GITMO. In a historical moment of poetic justice, most of the US-based top perpetrator of the fake war on terror have now themselves been renditioned to the US Navy camp in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, Pentagon sources say. The Rothschild acts as George Soros, Peter Monk, Peter Sutherland, the Bushes, the Podesters, and many others may have been airlifted to GITMO for military tribunals, as the Department of Defense spent $500 million to upgrade the prison and send more military pilots and Marines, the sources say. In one of many signs of just how historic the new American Revolution is, 13 congressmen will not be returning in the new year, the Pentagon sources say. CIA sources also confirmed that former U.S. President Bill Clinton, hoping for a plea bargain, is spilling the beans on people like former CIA head John Brennan, top U.S. Mossad agent Rahm Emanuel, former Vice President Dick Cheney, and many others. Furthermore, as U.S. President Donald Trump proclaims January 2018 to be Anti-Slavery Month, human trafficking centers around the world are being raided and shut down. In Saudi Arabia, 3,000 child sex slaves have been freed, according to Russian FSB sources. In the U.S., there was a power outage on December 27 at the Paddle Haven Disneyland, as the place was raided by special forces fighting human slavers, the Pentagon sources say. In apparently connected events, Washington Post hero Bill Graham and Jordan Fredstone, the brother of the actor Jonah Hill, died last week, the source pointed out. Another move was that Julian Assange, as extracted from the Ecuadorian embassy to take down the cable, and he may be pardoned along with Mike Flynn, the sources add. Also, on Christmas Day, Delta Force raided a mansion owned by former President Barack Obama in Thailand filled with guns, explosives, gold, and tunnels, which may link with former Thai Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, the Bushes, and human trafficking, the Pentagon sources say. We also received some raw intelligence over the weekend from two CIA sources operating in and Southeast Asia that reads like a Hollywood thriller about the high-sea thief of 100 tons of gold. The majority of the gold is to be used to assist in backing the new global gold-backed currency stored in Jakarta. There is more than 100,000 metric tons. This is known as off-ledger gold from the Surakarno era that he was M1 for the collateral accounts. One of the sources say, a portion of that gold that is not part of the Japanese hold taken during World War II from all over China and Asia was stolen last week, the sources say. Here's the partial translation. From the side of the sea, Chaikama Lantame the 12th Kai Lemukutan in 11 December 2015, participating in supporting the marine security of President Joko Widodo's work, visit at the National Christmas celebration in West Kalimantan, held in Pontianak on Thursday afternoon. The other words, the visit by Indonesia Muslim president to celebrate the Christmas was a cover for a major naval operation to move 100 tons of gold. However, three sources, including an Indonesian general, say the Navy ship carrying the gold bars was hijacked at sea in international waters. Here is a CIA source's version of the events. It was a very well-planned operation. The gold was offloaded into a submarine and went off-road into Singapore. This was a part of the overall play at the top of the Indonesian government along with a few of the top players in the Singapore government. The promise made during the secret meeting at the APEC summit in Vietnam was used for personal gain. The very top players in this theater planned and made off with the AU. This was to be used as a small part of the new gold-backed currency with Russia, China, and India. It is currently 90% pure and easily resmelted to 99.95 purity, the minimum purity allowed by LBMA, estimates between 18 to 100 metric tons. This will make a very few at the top of the Indonesia government extremely wealthy in the 3G Max list. The problem is that they have stolen something of high importance. This was for the benefit of humanity. I was told that there will be repercussions, including severe penalties like imprisonment or worse. The movement of the AU is being monitored by special equipment under the control of the White Hats. The perpetrators have nowhere to be hide. Their names are already known. These top corrupt politicians were under orders from the masters, the Zionist cabal, who still have a strong foothold in Indonesia. The movement and related hijacking of gold is linked to some sort of major financial event sometime in the first half of the year, a separate CIA source says. The source, who have provided us with both big scoops and disinformation in the past, says the financial system will be completely shut down, the stock market will drop to zero, bank accounts will be emptied, and ATMs will shut down when this event happens. This will be followed by the launch of the new gold-backed system, this also says. There is some supporting evidence out there for the scenario. India, Russia, China, and many other countries have announced publicly they will be moving to a gold-backed currencies. The Chinese have also said they will be trading oil for good and yuan. Furthermore, the entire management of the Federal Reserve Board has been replaced. We also see that world stock markets are being increasingly detached from reality. Even people who never study even basic economics know that when more people sell than buy, then prices fall. Yet, the US stock market has been reaching record heights, even though sellers have vastly outnumbered buyers since 2013. Reality always has a way of catching up, and illusions never last forever. There are also signs of another Lehman Brothers type of stock on the horizon. In any case, it will be impossible to completely end Khazarian mafia rule during this year, not just in the US but worldwide, if the right action is taken. Early on this matter, I was asked by Pentagon sources to think like a military man and come up with the specific targets. Years of research and conversations with hundreds of sources, including Rothschild, Rockefellers, and Japanese royals, have forced me to the conclusion that the problem ultimately lies with the P3 Freemasons Lodge and the plan to create a one-world religion in the world fascist empire controlled by the descendants of Caesars. Recently, for example, I was told by an NSA source to watch the Born Identity TV miniseries from the late 1980s. The story is about the hunt of Carlos the Jackal, the notorious terrorist who was active for 30 years in the later part of the past century. What triggered me is that the show depicts Carlos being sheltered in monasteries and working out of churches. That is because Leo Zagami of the P2 Freemason Lodge told me it was they who ran both Catholicism and monotheism. What really irks me is that Carlos, who was arrested in 1994, was allowed to publish a book promoting terrorism called Revolutionary Islam in 2003. At the same time, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security froze the bank accounts of publishers trying to publish my book about the secret battle for the planet Earth that promotes world peace. You can see these people for who they are by the constant fear, monitoring, and war promotion in their controlled media operations. So in conclusion, if the U.S. military and agency white hats want to finish this battle in 2018, and they want specific targets, I would recommend they target the Calabrian Peninsula, Rome, Milan, Tav Avi, Zark, and Basel. Doing so would knock out the self-appointed social engineers who are being terrorism, false flags, mass migration of young, single Muslim men, not families, into Europe, and etc. Pope Francis, with his promotion of the global warming throat, is just a nice face for this demonic group. In a final note, Japanese military intelligence is telling me that some sort of operation against the Bank of Japan is in the works for the new year. Let us make it a happy and victorious new year for the people and the living creatures of this planet.